Okay, so what's up, guys? It's Rex here, and so I figured I'd start playing the game again since the new Silver Ridge Peaks map is coming out pretty soon, and figured I'd make a video giving my thoughts on it and kind of what I think of the kind of like stage of development of it is right now. So I guess we'll start with the turkeys. The turkeys generally they look good. They did good on the feathers, but the females have spurs and the red heads, which shouldn't really be a thing. They are also scored, which also should not be a thing. Because I don't know if you guys are paying attention to the live stream or not, but it says they have a combined trophy score, which in real life, the way they're scored is it's a combination of weight, spur length, and beard length. Which the females might have the weight, but they don't have the other two required kind of parts of the scoring. So, in my opinion, they should not be scored. Also, if they're kind of going off of real life here, I mean, they shot. I'm pretty sure at some point they did shoot a male, and it was like 4.10 for a combined score. It might have been a female, I don't know, but it seems really low for it being a combined score. So I don't know if they just haven't gotten it worked out, or if I'm being retarded and it was just a female, but I don't know. Some of that just doesn't seem right if it was a male. Second thing is that when he pulled up the map, there was not much water, which is going to be really bad for the map in my opinion. Because when there's not much water, everything's going to be clustered into very small areas, and what's going to happen is you're going to end up having gigantic dead zones across the map. It's also going to make everything really fucking easy to kill. Because if they don't add more water, you're going to be able to stroll up to any lake and kill pretty much every species because there's so little water on the map, which I'm not a fan of. Turkeys also have drink zones, which isn't realistic. It's just that when you put it in the context of basically the meta that people have developed for this game, which is just very centered around drink zones and water, it makes them just like every other animal, which I don't like, because it's going to end up being you run up to a lake, you see a turkey, you go onto the other lake, and I don't like that. They should be hunted in a different way using the decoys. So that might just be me, but in my opinion, the turkey hunting should be much more decoy oriented than it seems to be at the moment. The need zones. In my opinion, need zones should kind of be taken out. It just makes everything way too easy. Which is why I don't find diamonds that impressive anymore, because as long as you're hunting water, you're going to find one a day at least. I mean, Flinter had that one stream where he's checking drink zones stuff. He got like 7 diamonds, I think it was. So that doesn't show you that's just way too fucking easy. I don't know what will. But the Rocky Mountain elk though, so I'll get on these real quick. They look good. The tree racks are pretty well done. They look a little bit too much. They have a little bit too much white in them. They should add a little bit more tan to the fur coats. And besides that, I couldn't really think of anything. Um, the plains area where the pronghorn are supposed to be found at, um, it's not really a plains area. It's more just like random open patches of grass. So, in my opinion, it should be called more something like meadows. It's just not a plains. Um, unless they were to redo the map and make it a legitimate plains area. Which should be done, because at the moment, pronghorn are being found in the forest. And that's not right. That should not be happening. Pronghorn should not be found anywhere near forests, which is why we need more water. There should be water holes in the plains areas, so that way you don't get pronghorn walking through the damn forest. Um, the black bears, though, I'm happy to see another map with black bears. Layton is just pretty boring in my opinion. That might just be me, but in my opinion, Layton's pretty boring. Happy to see black bears on the map. And so we haven't seen much of the map right now. But if they don't have this on there, I'd like to see some kind of like abandoned settlement or like hunting cabins or something. I feel like they just generally add to the overall atmosphere of the map. I don't know, when I think of the Rocky Mountains, I think of like gold miners in the Old West. I don't know why, that's just what I think of. And I feel like if they were to add something like an abandoned settlement or something, I feel like it just generally bump up the atmosphere of the map. The mountain lions are just a copy of the puma, which I'm fine with copies. I don't really care. I don't see why everyone's really mad about. I've seen some people kind of mad about the black bears and the plains bison being on the map because they're copies and such. But I mean, in the end, there are just some areas you just can't have without some animals. Some people are calling the Rocky Mountain elks just reskin, but they have a different model than the elk we already have, at least from what I saw. So that's kind of bullshit. But and TK did say we were getting a new weapon, but he did not say what. Me personally, I hope to God it is not a bolt action. We have way too many bolt actions here. And if you're paying attention right now, you might have seen my other video, but a bison can jump like 10 feet in the air now. I don't know what the fuck is up about that, but I mean, that's just another glitch they're probably not gonna fix. So, yay. But, I hope the weapon is maybe a sharp's rifle, or what I'd like to see actually is some kind of variant of the 30-30 or the 45-70. I know that sounds really biased coming from me, but I feel like almost every weapon type in the game has like different variants for some of it, and the lever action has just been left out. I don't know, it's just they don't seem very interested in lever actions. We've gotten shotguns, we've gotten bows, we've gotten pistols, we've gotten crossbows, we've gotten recurves in DLCs, but we've never gotten a lever action. So I hope we get a lever action. I feel like it just make it. I feel like it just add more diversity to the game, just make it better. Don't mind notifications. Sorry about that. But Um, let's see. What was another point I have written down here? Um, let me see here. Have I talked about the? Oh yeah, the mountain goats. Okay, mountain goats look really good. Great model, great everything. Cannot wait to hunt those things. From what we saw of the mountains, they look good. We never saw that close of a look of them, but just from the distance TK was at from them, they looked especially barren. I know it's a mountain, and it's just generally barren, but I feel like they need to add some kind of like high altitude foliage or something, just to give it a little bit more life. I mean, I feel like it just make the map look better. Um, Another thing I noticed is there are no like streams or rivers on the map. And to me, when I think of the Rocky Mountains, I think of like waterfalls and stuff. So in my opinion, unless just it's at a stage where the streams and the rivers and stuff just aren't showing on the map as water, um, there are none. Which brings me okay, that's a big duck. But which brings me back to the point I made earlier about how there's so little water on the map. And if they were to add stream stuff, not only would it add to the atmosphere of the map, it also add more water, which would make things more difficult to hunt. Um, which more difficulty is just always better. I'd rather have something overly difficult than really easy. That might just be me, but in the end, that's what I'd rather it be. So I don't know much about the Rocky Mountains, but I feel like they could have like brown bear too. I don't know. If I'm wrong about that, correct me. But I think they could have brown bear or grizzlies, I'm pretty sure. That's of course depending on the area they kind of chose, but I'm pretty sure they could add another bear species. Oh yes, one thing I forgot about the turkeys. Okay, I know I'm just kind of jumping all over the place, but I don't have much of a script wrote down. I just got a few random points, but the turkey feathers look a lot more gray than black, which shouldn't really be a thing. Um, when you claim them, it looks perfectly fine. They're a near black color. But in the game, they have something wrong with like the translucency or something about feathers, and it makes them look a lot more gray, which is not good. Um, but the tail feathers also look kind of undetailed. I mean, keep in mind I was watching on mobile, so it might just be due to the fact that it's mobile. I'm just missing out on some of the tinier details. But well, there's a diamond duck. Um, so yeah, at least on my side, the tail feathers look pretty undetailed. So if they are actually under detailed, they need to go back and redo those. And from what we saw on the stream, spooking is kind of glitched at the moment, but that's pretty easy fix, to be honest. So I'm not overly worried about that. I'm sure if there is anything they'll fix, that'll be it. Um, but I think that's pretty much it for what I have written down. I might think of something later and just have to make another clip, and just put it in this one video clip we have going right now later. But yeah, I think that's gonna be the end of the video, guys. Tell me your thoughts. I'd like to hear some of those. Tell me what you think could be done, and just tell me what you think of the map. Really, did you think it would be an Australian map, or are you kind of mad that it's a Rockies map? Tell me your thoughts in general. Well, till next time, Rick7501 signing out for now. Okay, I knew it. I knew I'd forget something. One thing I forgot to mention is, I feel like in the in like that meadow area they have going, I feel like they could add, quails or pheasant. Um, Maybe not exactly at launch, but sometime after launch. I'd like to see those added, because from what we saw of the plains area, which is really not a plains area, it seems like it would just be a perfect place to add quail and pheasant in the game. It's just, there's random open fields. It would just work for the for just the hunting style of them. I mean, it'd kind of be a good time to add them too, to be honest, due to the fact that or a good thing to add to the map, I should say, because um we have everything we need to fill up all the plaques in the trophy lodge, but there's no small game. Which, in my opinion, there should be small game on every map. I mean, every map does have small game. So, I mean, except Hirschfeld in a way. They have the foxes, but anyway, you get what I mean, okay? I feel like they need to add some kind of small games in the map. No matter what it is, we just need some. I prefer pheasant, but anything they can add that will work, make sense, and still have some kind of difficulty to it, I'm all for. Another thing I forgot to touch on, Mule Deer. They said Mule Deer T-Rex will be coming sometime after the update, which I'm fine with, which I'm happy for, okay? We need new Mule Deer racks, okay? Mule Deer right now are just like Legacy Blacktail on fucking steroids. Except their body is the size of a goddamn chihuahua. Okay? They need to increase the size of the Mule Deer. I mean, they did give that one excuse of when Parquet first released that the Mule Deer are smaller in South America than they are in other parts of the world. Even though in the story the warden says that they have world-class mule deer. That is not small mule deer. That is a hunky chunky big chungus motherfucker of a mule deer. Okay? Don't give us that bullshit. They need to be redone. And that to be said, about a few other species, to be honest, but besides that, I think that's really all I have to say about the map. I think it's really good. I think it's going to end up being just a good addition for the game, since the game is kind of lackluster in content right now. I mean, sure, it's only been 6 months since we got the last map, and I think only 3 months since we got the latest weapon pack, but I mean, in the end, when you've made the game to have this kind of meta of just running around shooting everything you see at lakes, I mean, you might as well expect to have your content dry out really quickly, so. Which, I guess brings me back to the point that need zones, in my opinion, need to be taken out. Or at least make them less exact. Because right now, if you get a need zone, those animals are going to show up at that need zone within like 10 minutes of it starting. Which should not be a thing. And they are going to drink within like 100 meters of that need zone. Which should not be a thing. In my opinion, need zones need to be a lot less accurate, and maybe even have multiple zones for the same herd of animals to make it just less exact. So say you have a herd of Rocky Mountain elk, okay? And they have a feed zone that is in the middle of the forest, okay? And there's, let's say, maybe a stream, if they have one, that is, near, but there's also a lake. They could have a couple drink zones along that stream, and they could maybe have one at the lake. So that way you can't just run up to the lake and expect to see the same herd of animals, because they might not be drinking there that day. I feel like that'd be good. And the same thing could be said about the rest zones and stuff. So, say there's a field that a Rocky Mountain herd usually feeds in, but say there's another field and they might feed in there some days. I feel like if they were to implement a system like that into the game, it for one make diamonds harder to get due to the fact that you can't run up to the lake where you saw it and expect it to be there. It would also just make the game more fun, in my opinion, because then you'd have to put a lot more thought into where you place say your tree stands and stuff, or your blinds, or just generally how you move across the map. But yeah, I'm just gonna stop talking, because if I keep talking, this video is gonna go on for fucking ever. But yeah, for real this time. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. And till next time, Rickson and Bobby Verse signing up for now.